Hello, beautiful and beloved ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions, and welcome or welcome back. And if you wonder about that strange title, these days I'm bringing you a message about this historic shift from third dimensional consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness after about every other video. And this is a message video, so stick around to the end. But first we're going to bring you Dimash Hymne à lamour. Here we go.
Lorsque l'eau sur l'eau peut s'effondrer et la terre peut bien s'écrouler, reviens-moi si tu m'aimes, je me loue du monde entier.
Oh my goodness, do you hear how deep he is singing there? I mean, usually he doesn't sing down there, but that resonance to his voice, the depth of his voice there, wow, that is so powerful, so beautiful. And not something you always hear from him. He's a lot of times flying up in the higher realms, which is wonderful. Look at this outfit too, by the way, and look at this. He's doing it in French. He's got so many languages, I don't even know what to say about that. Don't forget, friends, by the way, that I have my member tiers now. So you can check out the notes on those, see if you want to watch videos or if you want to do a little more in-depth on the 5D stuff. But let's continue with this. We'll go back a little bit. How wonderful. So many different, I should say, tenors to his voice. So many different ways he can do his voice that sounds like a totally different singer every time. I mean, it's just like he's choosing which way to go, which particular voice to. He has like, I'll say he has like 7 or 8 different voices in him. That's what I would say about that. It's just unbelievable. Oh my goodness. Absolutely amazing. Let me know, by the way, are there other songs that he does this switching back and forth with all the different various voices? I know I've heard a few of his voices, but this deeper voice, oh my goodness, wow. And by the way, if you're enjoying this, give me a like, give him a like later, it's in the notes, and subscribe. Let's go back a little. I want to hear some more of that changing voice.
Je veux jusqu'au bout du monde, je me verrai d'être abonde. Si tu me demandes, je vais décrocher la lune, je vais voler vers fortune. Si tu me demandes, j'embrainerai la patrie, j'embrainerai mes amis. Si tu me demandes,
I'd swear that wasn't even him singing if I heard that. If I heard that miscellaneously, I would think it was some opera singer. I would not think it was him. Not at all would I have thought that was him. He just pulls this other deep, resonant voice out of a hat here. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, you got to tell me if there's more that he sings in that range that I haven't heard about.
If one day we had to say goodbye. And oh Lord, where to find the weather? In my heart you will remain dear, and I will sink into love. Whose love will lead eternally in the gloom where all is harmony. With my face is not just for you, I'll sing and live.
My goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Oh, look at the look on his face. He's so, in the end, he's got such humility. And, you know, just the look on his face, in the end, he has that humility coming through. Oh, after bringing us that, oh my goodness, my goodness. I'm telling you, you'd have, I don't know what's going on with this circle thing around my face, but that's interesting. So, I hit some button over here when I was starting to make this, and it did some funky thing. I don't really know about this thing very much, and it did some funky thing. So, all right, I'm in a circle. Oh my goodness. So wonderful, amazing, unbelievable. Like I said, like any single singer that you could see, right? Could do any of those ranges, right? Could be in the low range, the middle range, the higher range, and everything in between. And you'd think they were great, but they wouldn't be going to all the different ranges all at once. Holy moly, this guy has an unbelievable ability with his voice. I just don't even know what to say about that. Oh my goodness. So we got to put this on my scale 1 to 5. 1 being very third dimensional, fear, pain, anger, sadness, suffering. 10 being very fifth dimensional, love, peace, joy, bliss. But before we do, I want to get to my message because what I want to talk about is third dimensional versus fifth dimensional love. And I think that's going to lead us nicely to being able to put it on my scale. And before I do that though, if you want to know a little bit about me, you can go to the About Me video here on this channel, which then leads you, if you so desire, to a longer video about what I call my Forged in the Fire of 3D journey. And I learned a lot, though, became a transformational coach, and I learned how to heal my body completely. So if you want to know about any of those things that I've got going on, you can go to the link in the notes about Lorelei on Patreon. And there's also there a link if you'd like to donate, show me a little love. And there's also buy me a coffee on the description here. So anyway, you might want to do that. It is much appreciated. So let's get to 3D versus third dimensional versus fifth dimensional love. I tried to find a version of this song that gave me the lyrics right on the screen, but I could not find one. I did find the lyrics, and I took a look at the lyrics in advance so I could talk a little bit about what he was saying. Now, the one that I found that had the lyrics, it was the wrong lyrics. They didn't match up with the other lyrics I found. So I said, sometimes these subtitles go fluey, and I think that was one. So I did not use that one. I just used the straight one. So what I understand the lyrics to be is that he's talking about how much he loves this one, and how this love for the one he loves is like is the him to love, right? It's like his everything. It's his all. His whole world is like sort of wrapped up around it. And then he gets into the world of I would walk through the fire for you type thing, right? You've heard those types of phrases. I don't know the exact one he uses, but he says, I do anything for you. So this is a good one to think about, third dimensional versus fifth dimensional, because in the higher realms, would there ever be such a thing of harming yourself in order to please another? First of all, another in the higher realms would never, ever want you to please that one by harming yourself, right? That would absolutely never be, like, it's a concept that would be completely and utterly foreign to the higher dimensions, that you should want someone to harm themselves in order to please you in some way. And then springing off of that you should want to be willing to harm yourself to please someone else would be completely absurd. Right? No one harms anyone up there. There's just no such thing going on. And no one considers that one to be harmed. If someone says this word or that word, no one ever takes affront at that. No one's ever looking to take affront. In the third dimensional reality, we're looking at every word a lot of times to see how we can take affront to it, or be upset by it, or how it in some way, I don't know, put us down, or whatever the case may be, right? We're looking at every word other people say, so that just wouldn't happen in the higher realms. You just absolutely would be in the love space. You would always be in the love space, and there would never be even a concept that someone would ever get hurt or say I'd be willing to get hurt. This is a very third dimensional kind of an attached kind of love. You see, third dimensional love is very attached, and I have to prove myself to you. That's a third dimensional kind of a concept. That's not happening in the higher realms. Everybody is solid in his or her own self, solid in his or her own love for self, and then all other love springs out of that. And that was told to me, right, by the way, long, long time ago. For instance, in my women's group, when I was dealing with my husband and his alcohol addiction and all, it was told you have to love yourself before you can truly love other people, because you're going to be incidentally harming people if you don't have that self-love. And I certainly learned that coming up with my parent, one of my parents who didn't have the self-love, and I got harmed a lot by that, inadvertently, not that she meant to or anything. So these things, they just simply do not exist. The whole premise of everything is love of self, and out of that springs everything else. And you would just absolutely never do that. Okay. So there is a love here for sure. And love is very high dimensional in the song. By the way, love is always very higher dimensional. But the way the love is acting itself out as I have to prove myself to you, or I should prove myself to you, just that's a third dimensional thing. And the way it's acting out in the sense of I'd be willing to harm myself for you, that's very third dimensional. So these are the kind of the wacky thoughts that we've got into our brain from being in the third dimensional reality, where that kind of stuff really actually does go on. There are people out there in third dimension, right, who would want you to prove their love, and that you'd feel like you have to prove your love. Or there are people out there that feel like they have to prove that they love you just anyway. They don't even, whether you want it or not, they just have to prove it and prove it and prove it and prove it. Right? And that kind of person annoys us, doesn't it? Right? Someone who's always trying to prove his love to you, and you're like, it's just, get a life of your own. I'm not the only thing there's other things you can do besides bending over backwards for me. I get it. It's nice in a way for a while, but then it gets old, doesn't it? That's a third dimensional thing. So, but yet the sound of it is, so that's where it leans more third dimensional. This one here, that's kind of, it's in the realm of third dimensional love. But the sound of it, on the other hand, is so uplifting, so beautiful, so almost he sang it in this kind of a way that was triumphant. That's what I was thinking. This is like triumphant. I don't know how, what that has to do with the words or the lyrics, but he was triumphant, especially at the end of this song, right? And it's so uplifting, that triumph, that, the sound of it, the beauty of it, the whole thing, that's all very uplifting. So taking all of that into account, and it's got sort of a more third dimensional love going in there, but it's got a beautiful higher dimensional sound and gorgeousness to it. I would go on a scale of 1 to 10 with like an 8.5. And now remember that does not have to do with how wonderfully he did it. It only has to do with you seeing what is pulling you toward the higher dimensions or away from the higher dimensions. So I think the words a little bit are pulling you more third dimensional, but that is triumphed, so to speak, by the beauty with which he does it, right? And that pulls you higher. So that's where I come up with that score. And again, for those of you who don't care about the 3D versus 5D, just ignore the score altogether because it's not for you. It's for people who want to learn about 3D versus 5D. He did a magnificent job. That's what I'd have to say about it. Magnificent. This was magnificent. And he's a lot of times he's magnificent. I'll tell you, this guy is just in general magnificent. So just really, really I enjoyed that so much. Okay, beloved ones, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and send you that beautiful fifth dimensional energy. I'm sending you the love, the peace, the joy, the bliss, the fun, the play, the ease, and know like you know your own self-love, right? And from that, everything else springs. Coming at you now. Here we go. Namaste. I honor the God in you.